Who is the best judge of the sound quality of a recording? My name is Steve Guttenberg. This is the Audiophiliac Daily Show. And at the end of this video, I will do a music review. But this question, who is best qualified? Okay, qualified to judge the sound quality of a recording. Well, we could start at the beginning, the musicians who made the recording. That's good, except for one thing. What they heard and played in the studio isn't what winds up on the record. And even when they were in the studio, what was coming out of the monitor mixes when they went into the control room was already mixed a bit by the recording engineer. So what they actually heard in the room and what came out of the monitors that day wasn't what winds up on the final record. Because they, the band, and the producer want the record to be mixed. That's why records are mixed. So in the mixing, they're going to change the record. They're going to add things. They're going to take away things. They're going to add guitar solos, do overdubs, vocals. All sorts of things are going to happen in the mix. They're going to fix out of tune, singing, etc., etc. A lot of stuff happens in the mix. It doesn't happen in the recording studio. So what they heard and what winds up on the record, which is what is going to be judged, isn't the same thing. So we got the band, we got the recording engineer, and the producer present at the sessions. And what happened those days of the sessions, then all of that goes to the mix engineer. And the mix engineer does all that stuff, EQ, compress, process, add things, take away things. Okay, then that's all done, and it goes to the mastering engineer. Now the mastering engineer is the person who takes that stuff, basically the raw materials of the recording, and makes it into a whole recording, where one tune goes into the next tune and it all makes sense. It's not too loud, it's not too soft, the balances are about the same. That's what a mastering engineer does. So again, the music has changed. Now, in some ways, the mastering engineer is the final, let's say, arbiter of the sound of the record. But what he or she heard coming out of the monitor speakers in their control room isn't what you're going to hear. Because first of all, you're going to hear different speakers. And you're going to be in a different room. And your room's probably not acoustically treated the way the mastering studio is. So what everybody hears, whether you're at the beach or in your car or in the office listening to it over $5 Bluetooth speakers, everybody's going to hear that music in a different way. And the reality is everybody is the best judge because they have to like it. If they don't like the music, they're gonna be out of there in a few seconds, right? Or a minute or two, or when the next song comes up. So in the end, it's us. We are the most important judges of the sound quality of a recording, because if it doesn't grab us, along with the music, of course, well then it doesn't make any difference, right? And if that band is successful enough to make more than a few records, and people are consistently not liking the sound of their records, they're not going to be listening to those records. So we are the best judges. We're the ones that count, really, in the long term. Now, of course, we're not all listening on the same stuff. So audiophiles have a different perspective than everybody else about what makes a recording sound good. I've covered this many times in these videos, but if you're listening at home over any kind of decent hi-fi, you're miles ahead of the person, on the beach listening over a $10 Bluetooth speaker. So what that person on the beach hears and what you hear, very different things coming out of that recording. So it's complicated. And the band and the recording engineer and the mixing engineer and the mastering engineer are aware of that. So they're not making recordings necessarily to please us audiophiles. They're making recordings to please the widest group of people, at least the people who are fans of that band. I'm using band as a simple way of saying it, but whether it's a symphony orchestra or a jazz group, whatever kind of music it is, to reach the people who like that type of music. So it's complicated. But I think that really it is the audience for that music that is the most important judge. And that's who everyone is trying to please. They're not trying to make records that they don't think, they're not going to be liked by those people. So, but it's us. Anyway, for today's music recordings, oh, and of course, if you feel differently, please speak up in the comments section below. So today's recording, well, we got a little problem right in the beginning. I can't pronounce the name of this band. So this is the record, and that's the band's name, and I will link to it below. But I really like this record. It's hard to pin down because it sounds like, the simplest way to describe it is 1970s funk. It's a trio. Here are the three members of the band: bass, drums, and guitar. It's a sparsely produced record. There's not a lot of stuff going on other than bass, guitar, and drums, and no vocals. And it has these grooves, these just amazing grooves. The guitar parts are so tasty, and it's shifting, and it's atmospheric. Actually, when I first heard it, I thought it was one of my favorite bands of the moment, and that's Dead Combo. There's that sort of a Dead Combo noir-y kind of feel to this record, but it's hard to describe. But luckily, in the 21st century, right after you watch this video, I'm sure you can listen to them on YouTube. So listen for yourself and make your decisions. You might even like it enough to buy it. Who knows? It might be that good. It might be that compelling. So anyway, my name is Steve Guttenberg. This is the Audiophiliac Daily Show. If you like it, please subscribe to this YouTube channel, like it, share it, do all that social media stuff, and I'll see you again real soon.